The Walt Disney Company has already lost $12 billion failing in India. Now it looks like they're about to look for $1 billion more by divesting even further out of the subcontinent. Let's talk about their Tata's deal here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is a bundle of laughs, Mr. Culture Casino. Culture, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm sorry. I'll keep it together. Yes, let's talk about Tatas.
Yes, let's talk about Tata. Disney said to sell stake in Tata's $1 billion India TV platform. Culture, what have you done to me here? All right, let's continue on. This story from Bloomberg by Baiju Kalesh and PR Sanjay. The Walt Disney Company has struck a deal to sell its minority stake in subscription television broadcaster. People familiar with the matter said, allowing the U.S. media giant to focus on the merger of its Indian unit with billionaire Mukesh Ambani's media arm. This is very important here, and it's only cursory mentioned here. What is going on with the India business for the Walt Disney Company right now?
Oh, Disney's bailing out. They divested themselves. One of the bigger parts of the assets they acquired in India, they're no longer interested in. We talked about this several videos back. I think it's almost 2 months ago, Jonas, where this was coming, and it was all a result of Sony pulling out of a deal and all these other things that were happening in India. And it's just not profitable to maintain the businesses that they were in the subcontinent, because there's no real return there. And the amount of investment and the amount of material that they were having to provide, plus the loss of the cricket league that they didn't even pursue. And that's, again, if you want to say one thing that Chapek didn't do right, that was it, not getting the premier cricket league there. But, they really left them with no other choice than to give it to somebody else who knew how to do it, because Disney does not know how to do India.
That's the one thing that's very apparent here. And they received this business, the Star business over there, not to be confused with Stars, but Star was their brand in India. Oh, sorry, maybe it was Hotstar. Anyways, they sold that after they purchased it from Fox during that $70 billion merger. It was initially valued at around $16 billion. They just sold their stake for, I want to say $4 billion. So 12 billion that they lost here. Some of that goodwill impairment ended up, there's a video on either on this channel or on the Valiant Renegade channel covering the fact that $2 billion in goodwill, they couldn't take that as a tax write-off. The flag to us was that their effective tax rate jumped from 30% to around 60 or 70%, meaning that they were taxed at a more high rate because there was a loss that they couldn't take it off on their tax. Anyways, I'm getting too technical here, probably even for our videos, but it caused a massive shift in tax burden for the Walt Disney Company. And also they have this small stake, about $1 billion that they hold of Tata Group here, and Tata wants it back. It sounds like they're getting out of the market altogether. Mukesh Ambani is the head of Reliance Media. Before we get into the Tata Group aspect, I should say Disney is going to be a minority stakeholder in whatever that merged business is. But really what it is that they were going to exit the market entirely. Now they can save face and they can say that they're on top, because this is going to be I'm pretty sure that's going to be the largest media company in India.
Yeah.
But Disney will no longer have a complete say on what happens there. So let's talk about Tata Play. The transaction values Tata Play, which is a different company, at about $1 billion. The people said that Tata Group took full control of the TV platform after buying a 30% stake from Disney, said the people, who asked not to be identified as the information is private. I would especially not want to be releasing private information in India. Things work differently over there. The deal came as the India's media landscape, sorry, this is phrased so unusually, is going through a major shakeup. Disney signed a binding agreement in late February to combine its India unit with Viacom 18 Media PVT, creating a $8.5 billion entertainment giant that will have 750 million viewers and dominate the sector in the world's populous country. Tata Incorporated, was incorporated in 2001 as a JV between Tata Group and TFCF. That would be the 21st Century Fox Corporation, formerly known as 24th Century Fox. Tata Group raised its stake in Tata Play to over 70% after buying more stuff. Representatives for Tata Group, Disney, and Temasek declined to comment, although we can see very clearly from up here that someone spoke, and I'm going to guess it's someone from the Disney company.
Someone commented and said, "We are getting out from underneath this as fast as we can."
Yes. Right now, the financial situation at the Walt Disney Company, they need cash desperately. They just had to pay $8.61 billion on Hulu in order to get 30%, but that's not the entire amount that they are going to be paying. The Wall Street Journal and other papers are saying that it should be valued at more like $40 billion, that one third of the company. So therefore, we're talking about probably another $4 billion, maybe more, maybe less. Still not final. The two banks, if you've been following that Park Place here, we talked about James Gorman. He used to be from Morgan Stanley, and Jamie Dimon, who's from JP Morgan Chase. Their two valuations are so far off from each other that it's triggered a third investment bank that has to value the final percentage of Hulu. And it's a giant exposure for the company. $4 billion, which is what they're probably going to have to pay, is the same amount they paid to buy Star Wars. It's about the same amount that they paid to buy Marvel. Obviously, that was some time ago. It was $7 billion for Pixar, which it was really $7 billion for John Lasseter, but neither here nor there. So we're talking about an amount that should be spent on moving the stock price. Instead, it's working against them. So this $1 billion, or they could stay in the India media business in some small way. Culture. Do you think this is the right move for the Disney company?
Yes, they don't know anything about India. They don't have anybody that's qualified to do anything over there. And to be fair, you described the company, the media company there, Reliance Media Group, as exactly what they are. Considering that they own vast holdings in theaters, they operate their own studios in Geo. They have control of so many different cable outlets there, including PMS NBC. And many other things like that. They're massive. I mean, they're responsible for a ton of media, movies, you name it. And Disney just didn't really have a touchstone there. Maybe under Fox management, which largely they got rid of some people that they shouldn't have after that merger. Maybe had done better. Maybe if they'd kept the cricket rights. I think that was really the trigger point. Had they spent the money required to maintain the exclusive rights to that particular league, maybe they would have been better off there. Or maybe Chapek had the right idea and said, we don't belong here.
Right. That was a two-step loss as well. Yeah. For those of you who aren't following that situation, for those of you who are following the financials of the Disney company or not following that closely, they initially lost the streaming rights to the India Premier League. And when they did that, they said, by the way, we're going to lose a bunch of subscribers in India, but we need to make sure that you know that these weren't actually very profitable for us. It doesn't represent an actual level of profit for the Disney company. And therefore, we're going to start describing the customers that actually pay a good amount of money as Disney Core. Well, up until that point, they were happy to say, oh, well, these are helping us reach our investor goals. By the way, in another video that we talked about on this channel that covers Hulu and also the Disney Investors Day, it was also revealed that they were supposed to get to 230 to 260 million subscribers by the end of this year. That's definitely not going to happen, even if they include the India figures with that. And that is separate from Hulu and ESPN. So what happened then, they are left with just the broadcast rights. So linear and cable over there. And I don't know which it is over there in India. It doesn't matter, because now that is all being absorbed into Reliance Media, or it's being allowed to expire. I think Reliance, they actually lost out to Reliance before they got absorbed into Reliance. So they lost to their biggest competitor, and their biggest competitor bought them out. Is that a fair representation?
Yeah, no, I think you broke it down perfectly. And I think that'll help people understand some of the terms that we use and what actually happened in the background. We've had some really strange things happen in India, and other companies are successful there. Disney, just whatever it was, it's just not their thing.
It's very true. So we want to throw this to our listeners, our viewers here. What do you think about this? Is Disney's dealings in India something that interests you, or is it just us crazy people up here on the screen that think this is fascinating? It's one way to get $1 billion, to buy something for $2 and then sell it for $1. I don't know how much they bought this Tata purchase for. That being said, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like this video if you like this video, or if you just want to be real nice to us. And of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.